Alright, I finally got enough money to get a good crossbow, and my build is coming along nicely. For map clear and general light level bossery, I've been using armor piercing rounds, and they feel really good once you get enough damage to where they clear well enough that you can use them for clear. Now, armor penetrating rounds or armor piercing rounds do very low damage, but it's enough damage to eventually start to clear stuff if you have a high DPS weapon and your gear is pretty solid across the board, like my gear is pretty solid across the board. Once you get good enough gear, you can run something like this. So for armor piercing rounds, I'm running fresh clip for 1% more damage for each bolt reloaded in the past 8 seconds. I'm pretty sure this works for at least the first one. We'll see how many it works for the second, but if we shoot this bad boy, it takes like 3 seconds to clear it out, about a half a second to reload. So I can get about 2 of these as I'm running through the map. So that should be, my reload is 25. That should be like 50% more damage on this fresh clip when I'm running through the maps and popping off, assuming it's working correctly. Ricochet projectiles from this support have a 50% chance to chain an additional time from terrain, and I am also grabbing an additional 10% here, 10% here, 10% for these 2 bad boys, 5 and 15 for another 20. So I am at a 100% chance to chain off of terrain. 100% right there. That's pretty important because under the right circumstances where you can actually hit terrain, this is a damage doubler. Your projectile will go through the enemy, come back, and then hit them in the butt. Now, how I'm getting my projectiles to pierce, because I have ricochet, rapid attacks, nova projectiles, and fork, but no pierce. I'm using this bad boy. Projectiles pierce enemies with fully broken armor, and I have armor break and grenader on one of my jewels. I think it's this guy right here. Megalomaniac, eroding chains, and grenader. You have eroding chains, break 50% of armor on pinning an enemy. I am a mercenary, so I pin with my projectiles. And then grenader gives me an additional cooldown for my grenades, which does assist with the boss. It's pretty dope that I was able to get that for 1 divine. Really nice. So rapid attacks kind of combos a little bit with fresh clip. That's the main reason I'm using it. There's a lot of other things I can use, like heft or, you know, mobility. Throw this bad boy on for bosses. Eventually it'll probably build up 20% physical damage, if I understand that correctly. I haven't really used it a lot. There's some other options, but rapid attack seems to be pretty dope. Now, Nova projectiles fires 4 additional projectiles, but it reduces your damage by 40%. Normally, I don't really like this a lot with armor piercing, but I am using fork, and with fork, I'm able to get a 75% chance to get an additional fork when forking, and fork doesn't really have a damage penalty for that first hit. So I think fork and Nova projectiles, rapid attacks, ricochet 2, and fresh clip is my favorite setup. There are multiple ones, and if you get rid of the Nova and you get something else like, I don't know, like chain, it's actually pretty cool because you kind of have a little laser beam, and then that laser beam bounces around and kills people. But for now, I'm really liking Nova projectiles. It shoots projectiles in a circle, and when they hit walls and there's enemies around, they will chain off the walls, hit the enemies, fork, throws projectiles everywhere. It works pretty great. You get into some trouble, you drop some grenades and blow everything up. Let's take a look at some of my other skills. I'm not using this bad boy because I just needed a lot of jewels for the extra life, movement speed, and mana. Caltrops because I can, you know, why not? I get a bunch of reduced spirit, so I use some caltrops because it's fun. Combat frenzy is going to give me frenzy charges. Lingering lightning is going to give me power charges, and if I really want endurance charges, I can throw armor breaker on. Endurance charges is going to give me 19% more armor, 20% more defenses, which is armor and evasion, while I have an endurance charge. For now, I'm running without that. I don't think I really need it, so I'm running without it. Frenzy charges give me 15% more skill speed, and crit, 26% more crit for power charges. So those are both really strong, so I'm using that for charge generation. Wind Dancer giving me some evasion. Ignore the supports. I'm doing that just to fulfill this bad boy right here. 5% increase maximum life, mana, speed. Picked up with this bad boy. so I can get the evasion, and 30% increased pin buildup, and bleeding you inflict on pinned enemies is aggravated. Mostly 30 pin buildup and grabbing these evasions, saving me a bunch of points so I can grab a bunch of other stuff. Now my evasion on this is pretty low. I'm only grabbing a few defensive nodes. Getting an evasion tree here, getting an evasion tree here, and then getting some armor and evasion there and right here. And that's all I'm doing. Oh, and right here. And that's all I'm really doing for defenses. My defenses are pretty solid. It says evasion 45, but it's actually quite a bit higher than that because I am blinding all the enemies around me. And 46% armor, and I have a bunch of physical damage applies to elemental, right? 73% on the physical damage from the armor, and my deflection is a 56% chance to deflect, 35% of damage, and again, when you're blinding enemies, it's a bit higher than that. Defensively, it's pretty solid. Now for the tree, it's a little wonky. I wanted the armor and evasion, but I didn't like that these were flat. Well, this one is flat, so I didn't go straight down, so I got some projectile damage and a little extra attack speed, so that's why I chose that route. I could just go straight down this way and get projectile damage, but these 8% kind of offend me, right? So I didn't want those 8%. Two-handed damage, evasion. This is helping with the chains on the wall. This is breaking armor. So projectiles pierce. Once I fully break armor, this will allow all of my projectiles to pierce, which will allow them to hit terrain, which then bounces them back at enemies. This guy, because my damage to bosses and single target with armor projectiles is, or armor penetrating round, is pretty low. Crit. This is what I'm anointing. 20% reduced accuracy rating while moving, 50% increased attack damage while moving, 8% reduced movement speed penalty while moving, and I am moving while attacking, so that's pretty dope. It pains me not to grab this, but for now I don't have that. I have to level up or drop the evasion to get movement speed and skill speed, which is pretty damn nice. I'm not grabbing any of these because my damage is all over the place. Sometimes it's from afar, sometimes it's from a close. I probably should, but I'm not. Getting additional crit here, getting some projectile shenanigans here. I really like blind, so I'm grabbing some blind, increased blind effect, and I'm also grabbing this bad boy for 50% increased critical strike chance against blinded enemies. So this is a lot of crit, and there's not a lot of crit on the tree, so that's pretty dope. Getting a little bit extra blind for my jewel, 7% chance to blind enemies with attack, 16% increased damage with hits against rare and uniques, 8% projectile damage, and 20% increased pin buildup, plus another 5, and then another 5. So we have a pretty good chance to blind these enemies relatively quickly. And then everything else I'm grabbing is crit. So we got crit node, and then crit node. It does pain me a little bit that I can't come and grab these bad boy crit nodes, but I really don't want the 15% reduced attack speed with crossbows just to get 80% increased damage bonus. This bad boy also reduces my global defenses by 25% for a 60% increase critical bonus. You could come and grab all this. This is really strong, but I didn't feel like losing the global defenses. Stretched pretty thin. You don't need to go crit. If you want to save some cash, get a crossbow without crit. Cut out all of these crit nodes and just focus more on other types of damage. I don't know where you would really get the other types of damage, but they're in here somewhere. You can grab all these projectile nodes. You can do a bunch of zany shit if you want to. But this is how I'm running it. I believe those are the most interesting mechanics. Now let's see it in action. Got a few maps in my... Ooh. Let's run one of these. Poison, extra fire, evasive. Should be fine. Haven't really done any of these bosses just yet with this build. I've mostly just been mapping around, having a good time. Trying to get into in-game. Now if we take a look, not at my microtransaction store, if we take a look at my atlas, I have completed all of these bad boys, getting 10. I've only completed 3 of these at 6. Jack shit for these. I need to go do some logbooks or something, and then 6. So I'm not even done ironing all of this shit out. I still need to do a bunch of that. And that's because I'm not going to go buy some of that. I've just been farming it naturally, because once I'm done... Okay, that's a bit loud. That's a bit loud. Let's turn the whole thing down just a hair. Just a hair. I'm trying to talk here, game. Now, I could just go buy this stuff to run these league mechanics, but I didn't really feel like buying it. Like, what's the point of playing the game if you can just buy all the mechanics? And then as soon as I buy the mechanics and I run the mechanics, then I'm done with the game, and then I quit playing. And I don't have Final Fantasy Tactics just yet. It comes out at the end of the month, and then, you know, I can be entertained for months after that, assuming it's not completely broken. Now, I have grenades on left click, which isn't the best place for grenades, but I got used to using them on left click, so whenever I switched it to a different button, it took a while for my muscle memory to adjust, so I figured I'd just put it on left click and leave it. Why not? Only real reason I use that is for the bosses, or any like really tough enemies. Sometimes Delirium will pop up and some fatties will jump out there, and then I drop a big old batch of cluster grenades. As you can see, the projectiles are pretty cool. When they're bouncing off of the walls and they're going through, you also have a little bit better visual clarity, and you don't have just explosions constantly blowing up in your face or really gross elemental effects. It's just nice little delicate penetrating rounds. Pretty great. I'm a fan. Let me roll through you, dog. What are you doing? Oh, this map I think is annoying. I just realized it's a boss map and I don't actually have to kill all the rares. It kind of pops off, right? I think it pops off. I'm a big fan. Of course, maybe everything pops off once you get this much damage, once you get this much gear. Everything just kind of pops off and works, but man, I'm really enjoying it. You kind of just stun enemies out, you lock them out, and then eventually you just murder them. I'm getting additional forks, and I'm penetrating, I'm bouncing off of walls. You can see me point it right at this wall, and they all just kind of auto-target. They bounce around and auto-target. It's just great across the board. Big fan. I'm having a blast with this build. Picking up my loot. I'll pick up less loot. There's no reason to pick up a lot of this loot. Save a little bit of time from the viewer. Okay, immune to physical. We cannot do immune to physical. Well, we can't even set it down. Where's my boy? Where's my homeboy? In the right circumstances, you can get double, triple hits on some of these projectiles. It's really cool. Abysmal Depths. I'm getting kind of bored of going into the Abysmal Depths, but I'll go in there just for the gigs. See if we can get something nice. I mean, we are in the Stone Citadel after all. Which I shouldn't. I don't have any portals. I really shouldn't be fucking around in the Abyss. You never know what the hell is going to be waiting down here. We're going to have some looky-loos. Want to get into my shoes. But, I'm a wild card. You know what I mean? Oh, we got a fucking level 15 waystone. So it's totally already worth it. Even if I die, you know? It's not worth it if I die. I'll be very devastated. Now, some maps are better than others. There's some that are open fields, so you can't actually get that good. You can't get that bounce off of the wall. So if you really want to, you know, min-max this, whenever you get a map that's wide open and you're not going to get any of that ricocheting, it's good to switch up your skills that you got going on. And sometimes I forget to roll. The roll is where I'm getting my power charges, so I'm missing out on some crit. But if I remember to roll, I'm always up on the frenzies. I'm always up on the powers. But every now and then I just get lost in the zone, the auto zone, and I just stop rolling. Like right now, I don't have any power charges. But fuck that, I don't need no power charges. Why am I not firing? Do I got lag? No. Oh, sometimes this just happens and I can't fire. It's annoying and I don't know what causes it, but sometimes that definitely happens. Can't create a portal either. There's some kind of bug. Won't let me hit any buttons. I can't create portals. I can't drop out. I could have killed them with caltrops. GGG. Not the best programmers. Pretty good at game design, but not great at coding. It's rather unfortunate. You got all that coding talent stuck at Blizzard doing nothing because they have bad development teams. They don't have a leader in the helm. Some of them coders should convert to New Zealandism and go work at GGG and fix up some of this shit. There we go. Now we got the detonator. Let's just pop it right there. Throw a couple big boy grenades, get them off target. Pretty great, right? It just cleared it right up. Still don't think that I should have to pick up all these little loot things. It's real tiresome picking up all this loot. We should let more of it. I think all currency items should just be auto pickup. Maybe not, I don't know. I just know I get a little bit tired of picking up loot. At least like small level currency like that. But I am a lazy fuck, so, you know. Also really hate the map design. Every little corridor like this designed just to make you go in the wrong spot. Terrible flow. So the whole reason Sprint exists is because they have really bad map designs. It's cumbersome, overly long, has things that go in the wrong direction. Oh, since we're bossing, oh, this is gonna be an arena. We'll just keep it as is, right? We don't need anything else. We're in an arena. The bounce backs might work. I was gonna drop off with my shooting in all directions, but I think it'll bounce off of the terrain over here. So it should be pretty great. Aw, too early. I busted my load on nothing. That one got him. Are they? Yeah, they are bouncing off of the wall, which is pretty great. I didn't even pay attention to the mechanics. I probably ought to pay attention to what the hell's going on, because I know that could kill me. Let's drop a banner. Why not? Hit him with some grenades. Again, pay attention. We got lasers coming. Ouch. We got bombs. Jesus Christ, buddy. I know I'm not set up for bossing, but I wasted that. I wasted that banner. Get some caltrops for him. Now I should throw rapid fire in here to power up them cluster grenades, but you know what? Fuck rapid fire. I'm tired of that overheating shit. It's so annoying. Ouch, 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 ouch. You dead? No, you got more phases, right? I can't remember. Oh no, he dead. Oh, see, that was pretty easy. The damage ain't the best, but it's good enough to get it done. But if I was gonna do some dedicated bossing like this, I'd probably rearrange things a little bit. We got some tier 5. We might as well. Oh, quarterstaffs. That's all you're gonna give me? I don't want no fucking quarterstaff. Should I finish this bitch up? Yeah, I'll go finish this bitch up. There's a lot of enemies there. I mean, it's a stone citadel. Maybe you got some extra magic find or something. Though these maps do kind of suck. They're great for demonstrating the arrows bouncing around and being all cool and shit. Oh, he's still alive. Like if you pay attention, if I just shoot into the walls, it's pretty dope. I'll just come over in this corner. And then the arrows auto-target, and it's really nice when they auto-target. So much more damage. You don't have to aim, and it's just automatically hit, and it's pretty great. And again, if you don't like this, you can use like the standard. I think shock burst rounds are the standard. I've used all the skills to get a kind of a feel for them. And shock burst rounds kind of felt the best. But I really like being pure fizz, and these are pure fizz. There's not a lot of pure fizz in this game. And I feel they're lacking in the crossbow department for a pure physical skill. They pretty much have this and the base crossbow and high impact rounds, and high impact rounds suck ass. They're way too slow. They do way too low a damage. Their damage needs to be doubled. I'd say doubled. It's just not great. At least with my experimentation. I could be wrong. Maybe if you're fully breaking armor and you're fully maximizing on it, it's pretty good. But once you get to enough damage, it's just so much more convenient to do these armor-piercing rounds. Just clear out the screen, pin everything. Yeah, it's a real comfortable time. Real relaxing. You don't really gotta worry about a lot of stuff. Unless you accidentally sprint into an enemy and he whacks you off. Alright, I'm done with this. Let's fuck these maps. So goddamn terrible. Such a terrible map design. Alright, you guys like that? I like that. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was dope. We got Herald of Blood. That's blowing up on shit. We got Wind Dancer. That's giving me evasion and blowing up on shit. This guy's giving me charges. Combat Frenzy, Caltrops, Exploding Grenades. And as you see, there's not really a spot for rapid fire. With the amount of skills that I'm using, I'd have to drop one of these, probably Caltrops, and then I could just throw on other supports. And so if I had to choose between getting Caltrops, which give me some cool shit every time I do a rolly roll, and I already have to rolly roll for this bad boy, if I had to choose between Caltrops or having rapid fire to kill bosses just a little bit quicker, maybe quite a bit quicker if I'm being honest, because it is a pretty big bonus to apply that 15 heat to these cluster grenades. It's not really worth it to me. It's just not really worth it. Let's run a few more maps. We got that bad boy. We got some mapping. We got some unique maps over here. Powerful boss encounter. Yeah, let's get that powerful boss encounter. We got some unique ones. Leech from critical hits is instant. Oh, I don't have my trade up. Cold, mana, life, accuracy, energy shield. I didn't like the way that looked at me. Oh, we got 2 of these bad boys. Nice. Nice. Ooh, we got the gray. Every now and then, if you get enough simulacrum, this gets pretty, the DPS starts to decline just a hair, and you can get overwhelmed in some of the green areas if you're not paying the most attention. But for the most part, you're pretty fine. Or if you like are sprinting into a zone and you happen to go into a big, dense group of enemies, and you haven't really ramped up your projectiles to bounce around everywhere yet, you can get into a little bit of trouble. But for the most part, it's just smooth sailing. You shoot your bouncy bounce around, and it kills everything. Now, in terms of reload, you can get some faster reloading shit, but I'm actually not bothered by the default reload speed in the slightest. I think it's totally fine. It could be the extra skill speed that I'm getting from those frenzy charges that might assist with reload. I think skill speed kind of speeds everything up, including reload, but I could be wrong in that department. I haven't tested it, but whatever my reload rate is, I'm actually totally fine with it. And if you get into the flow, you get into the groove, you can actually roll as you need to reload, and you can kind of see it from the motion of your character. Once you see it start to move a little bit quicker, shooting, you move quicker, then you get that roll in, because you already need to roll to drop the thing to get you power charges, and sometimes you can kind of forget to roll. So if you get into a little groove where you're just kind of gaming it out, and then once you reload, you pop a roll, then you kind of get a free reload, since you already have to do that annoying reload. I mean, that roll to get your power charge anyways. It works pretty well. Pretty dope little combo. And I've never used power charges or endurance charges before in Path of Exile 2. This is my first time, and getting effects like this is kind of cool. Being able to use these charges on a spirit gem to give you just some global benefit like defenses, instead of getting the benefit just from getting the power charges. Now, don't get me wrong, I still like the Path of Exile charges better. It's more simplistic. You just get them. They're not used as an additional resource. Fuck that additional resource shit. But it's not bad. I like it. I imagine as the game gets more and more released, they'll have more and more uses for the charges, giving you cooler abilities, maybe even get something like a discharge eventually. I think all the spellcasters are already identified though, so if discharge isn't in there, maybe it won't be, but who knows. This will really test out the build. A nice little breachy breach. Now, because of the fork and getting additional projectiles for the fork, you actually do have some really good off-screening. Kind of bounces around and forks, and eventually it'll just kind of clear everything out. A lot of times I'll go into a room that I've had a couple of my arrow bolts flying in there, and everything's just kind of dead. It's really great. That's a great little demonstration of the purr. Drop that banner, why not? I didn't quite realize I was heading into a boss. Usually you can do a better job of front loading your damage with the double cluster jewel, but I went to a breach zone and I was just kind of following the breach. I kind of lost myself. So that boss wasn't perfect. Kind of felt like he might have had some extra life too, or that's just a tough boss. Plus one monster level, maybe that's doing it. There's a lot of mods on there. You see that penetration I get from fully broken armor. You see it kind of popping off on my single target right in front of my face. Now the penetration is really nice in conjunction with Ricochet. It counteracts with Fork a little bit, but there's enough of the lack of penetration that you actually get some pretty good Fork. So I do really like Fork. But if you're gonna drop an ability, Fork is probably the one to drop. Did I already get all my rewards? My delirium doesn't seem to be dissipating. Do I have some type of... Delirium in your maps are 25% more likely to spawn bosses. Extends the duration. Additional rewards. Additional damage. Dissipates 50%. Okay, yeah, it shouldn't be staying out permanently. Normally there's a little button and then a bunch of loot drops, but I haven't been seeing that button lately. I'll have to pay attention next time. I always forget to go to the big tab. Do I got enough to run that yet? No, 235. What are these called? Splinters? Let me make sure I don't have any more. Yeah, I don't have any more. What about the other ones? Got a big old dump tab. I got tired of trying to sort shit, so I'm just putting it all in this dump tab. There's just so much shit. Okay. Ooh, we do have 300 that. We could try a simulacrum. Yeah, let's try a simulacrum. I'll probably die on the max. This is my first time doing a max simulacrum. I'm not sure I got the defenses for a max simi, but we'll find out if I got the defenses for a max. Why did I only grab 24 of those? I grabbed the 300. Am I on crack? I'm on crack. I'm on crack! Give me the crack. Suck a dick for some crack. Alright, we're gonna get some special bonuses if we can complete this. 54% experience. I can't remember if they dropped the experience loss on this or not. But I think I only have one death, so it won't really matter anyways. Not sure I'll level up again. I might, get bored. This build's great, but I'm definitely not building another character. And I got a few games coming out. A few games coming in the pipeline, mostly Final Fantasy Tactics I'm quite excited for. But that's not till the end of September. But I've been having to do a lot of overtime at work, so I might drop this bitch and just focus on some work. Clear it all up for Final Fantasy Tactics. I'm gonna say Final Fantasy Tactics a lot in this video, apparently. I'm quite excited. I have not played that game in probably 15 years since the last time it was released on mobile cellular devices. I played it on mobile cellular devices way back when. I think that was iPhone 3G even. And it was pretty good on the cell phone, but it ain't nothing. It ain't nothing like it's gonna be on PC. It's gonna be so fucking dope. I figured this would be okay for Simulacrum, but I think I might be getting swarmed eventually. Eventually I'm gonna get swarmed up, and I'm not gonna be able to dish out enough damage using this low damage shenanigan armor piercer. But we'll find out as we get into it. As we get in it. I am not gaining experience, I don't think. So if I'm not gaining experience, maybe I'm not losing experience when I inevitably die. Oh yeah, I need to be rolling. Hitting some caltrops, getting some purr charges. I probably ought to change Volt Tactics charge. I was using that beforehand, manually grabbing that, and only using one at a time. But now that I can drop two, it might not be the best, because when you throw that out, then you gotta walk a little bit to charge it up. It does a little bit extra lightning damage. It's pretty great as a support gem, but has the qualification to use it. Ouch, don't touch me. Oh, I'm starting to get swarmed up a little bit. Not nearly as much ricocheting going off as I was expecting. Get off my junk, bitch. Maybe it'll let me move to a different zone that's a little bit more taut. Get some more of that ricochet going. Give them the rickets. I find it annoying that you gotta move from zone to zone. I don't really understand why. Just let me stay in the same zone. I don't think it adds that much, giving you a whole new zone to fight in. Look at them ricochets. Look at them ricochets. Bong bong. Ah, wasted a grenade. Let's start this bad boy with the banner. Ooh, fat boy. Fat boy ain't doing shit, but that other guy was doing work. Slowing me down, getting me all sluggish, making me all tired. Getting that work done. Off to the next zone. Doing okay, Neo. I haven't done enough of this to know exactly how much it scales up. I guess it is only wave 6. I think I'm gonna be getting into some trouble here. Oh, gotta get my roll on. Get my purr charges. Are they stealing my charges? Yeah, they stealing charges. That's rude. That's so fucking rude. Drop that banana. I do think my solution of double movement speed outside of combat is the best solution. Definitely better than the current implementation of sprint. Because I find sprint to be just a little bit annoying. Seems like a lot of this game is designed specifically just to be just a hair annoying. Yeah, I probably would have one-shot that boy if I would have had this cluster grenade fully charged up with some heat from rapid fire. Probably could have one-shot that big boy. Oh, we'll get some good ricochets on this one. Getting a little rough, getting a little hairy. Let's drop that banner. Hit him with that Bruce. Hit him with that Bruce. You're not worth grenades. I'm just gonna shoot you in the nards. Ah, you dare. Use my cluster grenades on nothing. Just complete waste. Click it. Oh, do I gotta go through? Yeah, I gotta go through. Started out with the banner. Why not? Let them know who's the boss from the start. I haven't even read that banner. I'm just assuming it works. Might not even work for projectiles, because it just said increased damage, but I don't remember exactly what it said. Unlike Path of Exile 1, I don't have this shit memorized. Oh, damn. Heyo. That woke me up. Missed that deflection. That's what that was. That's a deflection miss. Let's go ahead and read that banner. What we got on that banner? War banner. Aura grants 25% more attack damage. Okay, attack damage is counting my crossbow. At least it should. Oh, this is gonna be a tight zone. Oh, but it doesn't ricochet off of there, so we gotta go to this corner. I'm gonna lock down this corner. This is my fucking corner. Get all these ricochets. Shoot right into the wall. Watch them bounce out. There's so many enemies I can't even move. They're all stunned up and I can't really tell whether they're alive or dead. I don't want no fucking great club. We're at 11 now. Running maps just takes a little bit too long. I'm what, on like day 10 or something like that. I ain't nearly as far as I'd be in Path of Exile 1. I put so much more time into this. The pacing is just a bit too slow for me at the moment. Oh shit. Gotta get out. Oh, I'm donezo. Donezo. 0 attempts remaining. I got trapped in that corner. Panic rolled. Donezo. Alright. Single target, not the best. Well, not single target. Like, massive group targets, not the best. It would be better with the shock. Whatever. But I think I'm gonna do a whole separate one on that. I'm gonna run one more map. I want one with the boss. Yeah, you got a boss on you. Lofty Summit. I didn't even read what the mods were on that bad boy. Oh my god, that's too much reading. Whatever they are, I'll deal with them. Or they'll deal with me. I've been meaning to try converting all of my evasion to armor, but all my gear is very deflection based. I got a lot of deflection on my gear, and that's all gonna go to waste. So I kind of want to put all my gear up for sale, sell it up, and then do hybrid armor evasion, and then only grab the take physical or take damage. Armor applies elemental damage. Can't even talk. Let's flip mode it. Let's flip mode it up. Hey, I'm flip moding it. Let's turn this bitch into more of a laser beam. Alright, let's get red. Let's keep fork. Let's get rid of Nova projectiles. And let's add in... We'll add that for more damage. There we go. Let's show what it looks like without the Nova projectiles. In a lot of cases, this works just fine. And it even does a little bit better single target. Other cases, it's not quite as good because you don't get as many ricochets off the wall. But the best thing is it's not like blinding. There's not flashing lights everywhere. You got a very basic animation for this skill. It's easy on the eyes. Oh, I forgot to roll. I'd be rolling. Also haven't done a dedicated grenade build. I did rapid fire grenades, but I haven't done just like pure grenades. And the only thing I throw out is grenades. That looks like a hassle. Looks like a lot of work. And it looks like a lot of fucking screen noise that I don't particularly enjoy for long play sessions. I'm kinda sad I can't ride the turkey. Can't ride the turkey on motherfucking crossbow. So I might sell this crossbow and pick up a regular bow so I can, you know, ride the chicken around. Try some bow skills, 'cause I haven't really played a bow character either. Do we have armor explosion? We have armor breaker. Mobility. Stop it. Leave me alone. Ricochet 3 is kind of weird. I don't have armor explosions. I got rid of it. Maybe I have it down here. Armor breaker. That's how I get endurance charges if I want them. I don't have armor exploder. I have to go back into town to grab that. Armor exploder is kind of dope. It'll explode enemies based on a percentage of their life or your weapon damage. I can't really remember. I think it deals 30% of your weapon damage on breaking armor. I don't know. I think the blood does the life percentage. Either way, it's pretty cool, but it's not amazing. So I don't use it. I think I would either need a lot more hit damage, or it would need more AoE, or something like that. It's pretty cool to just laser beam into them. It's kind of a different playstyle than having the projectiles bouncing around everywhere, because it's more targeted. Feels a little bit more Vampire Survivor-esque. Am I poisoned again? Every now and then there's some like damage that I can't even explain that happens in this zones. Like right there, I don't know what I'm hit with, but it will just drain. Oh shit, there's a fucking boss. Well, that boss figured out how to kill me. Fucking mallet to the head. Didn't even realize there was a boss there. Lost experience. Alright, let's get rid of this fucking bullshit. Yeah, let's put that Nova back on. Put the Nova back on. And let's just get Armor Breaker. Let's take a look at Armor Breaker. Support. Break. Fully explode. Actually, I don't know. Yeah, there's only a level 1. Let's pop it in. Let's get rid of Brutality 3. I'm not gonna go pure fizzies. Aw, there's nothing. Oh, there's a boss right there. We'll do that bad boy. Resistances, extra damage is lightning. Another dangerous one. Seems like I only get dangerous maps with very scary damage mods. Oh, let's put on the armor exploder. Let me back up out of here. Armor exploder. Let us replace attack speed. Let's just bomb them up. And then, see, then you got Christmas trees again, and you got explosions. Looks cool, but, you know, it hurts my visual clarity. And my sensitive little girly eyes. And are tired of all these explosions. But if this is your thing, it is kind of cool. Oh. I tripped. I tripped. Okay, okay, armor breaker is kind of cool, or armor exploder is kind of cool. It's popping off. Kind of lets you know that you're doing shit. I'm not sure I've seen that boss yet. That abyss boss that killed me. I'm still thinking about that. Because I'm recording and, you know, playing and talking. I wasn't paying close enough attention. Kind of sad about that. If I'd have noticed there was a boss there, I would have, you know, partied on and not let him hit me in the face with his big ass thick mallet. Give me some power charges, yeah? And it does kind of feel like the Demon Hunter from, Diablo 3 when he's using, I forget the name of all the skills in Diablo 3, but there's essentially this skill where you're shooting in all directions and you're, you know, blasting shit up. One of my favorite skills in all of ARPG history is Diablo 3's Impale, where you throw that fucking dagger. Oh my god, playing that dagger build is so much fun. Really high single target, and you get it to pierce, and you can throw 3 of them. And it is just like very measured gameplay. Super good. And I'm so devastated that very few games have mimicked the greater rift system of Diablo 4. I mean Diablo 3. It's even more devastating that Diablo 3, in my opinion, is just significantly better than Diablo 4 in every way. Literally every single way. And that's a travesty. Like, Diablo 2, in my opinion, is overall better than Diablo 3. I like it better. I've spent more hours on it. And if I had to pick one to play for the rest of my life, it would obviously be Diablo 2. But Diablo 3 does have things that are better than Diablo 2. The feel of the combat, the ability to switch your build up very rapidly, which is extremely nice. The build defining set pieces are a little bit more defining, which is both a good and bad thing for Diablo 3's case. A lot of times it's like, what set are you gonna use, and that's all your build is. You just pick a set piece, and so every build is controlled basically by your set bonus, which is kind of a negative, but you know, not everything can be perfect. Sometimes I find myself missing a little bit of Diablo 3, if I'm being honest. I quit playing it pretty early because I really got into Path of Exile. And Path of Exile is significantly better than Diablo 3. So I couldn't really keep playing it. Ooh, boom, boom, boom. Oh, boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom on the breach. All these fucking vines, obstructions. Alright, we kill all the rares, we got all the breach, now we gotta kill this fucking ding-dong. Gotta kill this fucking ding-dong. I wanna see these explosions. I wanna see if I get multiple explosions. I don't really know how Armor Breaker works. I don't know if you can break their armor, it's broken, and then there's like a reset period, and then it unbreaks, and then you can break it again, or if it's only a single break. But I'll have that answer right here. If this dude pops more than once, then you can break armor. That's one pop. Once you pop, you can't stop. Dirty pop. What's up, brah? Don't get mad at me, dog. I didn't make you a fucking chicken. Wasn't my doing. Wasn't by my hands that you got chickified. Alright, that's enough demoing of the build. I like it. I think it's pretty dope. Actually, I'll do one more thing. Let's unload my thick reward tab here. One of these days, I'm gonna actually go through and sell all this shit. I got a bunch of extra currency. That might be an interesting video. See how much currency I can get out of selling all like this, everything in this tab. I wanted to take a look at some shock burst. Oh, galvanic. Is it galvanic shards or shock burst? I can't remember. I think it's galvanic shards. There we go. I think I even have a plus 19 waiting around. Yeah. And let's just try this. There's something really cool I might do a dedicated video on, but we're gonna do... You know what? It's gonna take too long to find the supports, and this video is already an hour long, and I gotta go fucking drop a shit off in the toilet, like a big one. I can feel it. It's like a shoe. It's like a shoe up in there, and it's got a bend just like a shoe, like a 90-degree bend on it, like someone stuck a boomerang up my ass. It's gonna come out so delightfully.